My God, the harassment is still going on. There's two apartment buildings for mine. There's an outside fence going up. They're part of the legal surveillance. They're sitting out there. There's an old woman out there messed up in this, and a young dark haired girl. They think they can break in somebody's home and surveillance them and extort money. And this town isn't smart enough to be afraid of them. They think they can pay off a dirty cop to stab you with a needle, tell you to say something stupid, and you've never been questioned of wrongdoing by any officer, any agent. No man, no lady knocked on your door and accused you of any wrongdoing. Because I like to see the video of it. There isn't. Never prosecuted. Never formally accused with Miranda rights. Never subpoenaed to go to the prosecutor's office. Nothing. No trial. No nothing. That's why when you put my name, my birthday, Ravenna, Portage County Courthouse, the only thing comes up is my divorce. Just because Dave finds George Pete's daughter, Michelle, Memorial Day weekend, 2019, food counter at Walmart for it's my daughter, husband dates. He met her in Ravenna when she was having a stomach spell. It's for my daughter. They did all this for. And our family watching her doing this. It's them. And for who's Karen's rich boyfriend but the state of Ohio who protects her. Mocking me because they're getting paid to protect me. And they're going Nazi on me. Breaking in, stabbing me with needles. Telling me to say something stupid. But the amnesia drugs, lying they have sodium pentothal reports. I went to the unmarked FBI building in Canton. And I said, they say they have sodium pentothal reports. He said, what's that? I said, true, sir? And he went, really? It's because if you go Google false confession sodium pentothal, questioner gets what it wants, right or wrong. He'll even confess to Pearl Harbor. It's a lethal outlaw drug that if you survive, you say yes to anything. I told you, last night, they're swarming my new client's house, okay? Since I got the chip, they can hear me. She's already in bed, so I sat and read my notes. This person knows this person said this person said this. How I was drugged, I was framed, I was photoshopped. Well, I got why. One's so funny. Well, the second building for mine, there is an outside fence going up. They're part of the legal surveillance and the drugs and the photoshopping. Okay? They think they can get money out of this. The real law is, and they try to lie, they have an attorney has a court order. I told a local Louisville officer. You know what he said? He started laughing, crossed his arms. No matter what, and it comes down to no matter what, until you reported that threat on your life and actually spoke to Will and gave your statement, asked for help, nobody can watch you in your home. It's illegal. It erases your rights away. It's entrapment. It's a 5-year federal prison sentence without accessory to drugs and kidnapping and attempted extortion under it, without the chipping, without the beat rape torture, without the attempted murder. And possibly murder. There's like 100 years in jail. And these people are so stupid. They keep thinking they're going to get money out of this and me in trouble. Well, I found this tape from before. Now, they have walked by my house. And my house is bugged. Legally bugged. Because when I talked to the FBI agent Will, he legally bugged my house, put me in protective custody of the police instead of the FBI. Started a police investigation on real threats of life, real stalkers, real witnesses. Left me on his desk. Somebody wrapped about February 7th, 22 at outside AutoZone, a Giant Eagle before noon. I'm in Giant Eagle with Becky. I come out and they said, Will did all this to her. They said, Will did very little with this case and left it on his desk. And I'm like, that's why they got get away with it. He didn't bother to check there was a judge's daughter involved, the undercover police that are, and I lived in Pamira Township. I didn't even live in Ravenna. I just had an address, mailing address. I lived a mile outside Diamond. I lived in Pamira Township. And if you Google Pamira Township's police department, it's Milton. And then there's a Craig's Beach within 7 miles. And Ravenna police is over 11.7, something like that. It's 18 minutes away. And that they were helping out for the judge's daughter. And these people run up and down the street. They follow me. They scream stuff at me. No officer, no agent, no man, no lady knocked on my door and accused me of any wrongdoing. Nobody did. Was never legally prosecuted nor found guilty. Just because, they were out there saying, I know it's not funny. One of her grandkids said she was weird with herself and they seen it. That was one of Melissa's lies. They came up to me. No, Melissa's kids got caught stating in the basement that the house wasn't meant for Grandma, it was meant for Auntie Cheryl and Papa, and Grandma needs to get out. And because my house was legally bugged, all the police heard them say, we're making everything up, their games of pretend. And these cops are so crooked up there, they sold the login to a real threat of life investigation. Do you know in protected custody, if they fail to protect, it's police abuse and misconduct? Do you know if they set up surveillance without a threat on a life, without Miranda rights, ask for help, it's police abuse and misconduct, and it's entrapment and it's thrown out? And failure to protect is police abuse and misconduct. Police can't just go in your home, knock in your door, because Dave finds a judge's daughter, set up cameras in the shower head, bathroom smoke detectors, and so you don't know they're there watching you, and then start photoshopping you in porns. So that's why the extreme of, Mercy Medical, the only thing they had on you was adjusting yourself. The guy's like, that's March 13th of 21. The guy's like, that's sick. She said, no, she just adjusts herself. I'm like, okay, you're right. And then right into April 1st to May 10th, you didn't expose yourself. You're good. I'm like, okay, you're right. Just wipe off water. Okay. That's what they said. You just wiped off some water. I'm like, okay, you're weird. What were you doing in my house? And then March 2nd to the 3rd, now my car's bugged by the place. We're going to put 2 clamps together and put her in a mold. It's not her, it's them. And then the way they talked about it, they put a shower scene in the other room. Okay? December 9th, I'm at Hunger Task Force. There's a bald guy helping distribute food. They would have his name. Seen him several times, worked security during the case. Comes out and said, it makes my stomach turn and seeing her in a place like this. We always knew the tapes before were them, not her, so we never said a word to her. At an Oakland Apartments maintenance man had made fun of me for those altered tapes. I haven't even seen them. I just heard people describe them. Okay? He's on the phone at December 9th, 21, 4 o'clock. Head turn. All the tapes before were them, not her. Wow, what's going on? It's a group of men doing as many crimes as they can to see if someone will actually stop them. The older African-American man that works with him right beside my car. Now, my car's bugged. I hear you. They hear you. Said, it's not funny what's going on. He said, I know. I told him all the tapes before were them, not her. And it's just a bunch of men doing crimes. And they already talked to the guy at the Hunger Task Force. He said the same thing. Now, I'm in Save-A-Lot. I'd have to look up the time and date. An African-American lady shows up and said she's going to extort money for that altered form. She shows back up. Save-A-Lot again. We found out they made all that up. None of this is funny. Okay? 2 men show up at the Hunger Task Force again by January 3rd of 22. Okay? And they're like, we found out that guy knew they did all this to her before. And he didn't say a word, and we're mad at it. Some guy named Eric trying to help him get away with all this. And security's like, the informant's here. No one's to say a word to her. I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and those stupid bitches, 2 apartments down, there's an outside steps. Karen's, no, there is no will. That's a made-up case to watch me. June of 19, Liberty House share. I'm working there. There's North Canton or Jackson police sitting out front. There's a guy in a suit in the back talking, and they witnessed it. They made up a case to watch her before. That's funny. I'm like, sure. You did what to her before? That's funny. She must really like him. They witnessed that. They made up a case. Because you can't go in and stalk somebody in their home. You don't get a court order for that. Matter of fact, the law is if an attorney tapes you unaware in your home, they lose their license and they go to jail and have to compensate you. That's actually the law. Okay? Yeah. BP, North Main. I gave the FBI my login to my phone. And so that they could get my credit card receipt for BP. There's a lady outside on her phone. Now my car's booked. All the police aren't in there. Goes into the state case Will created. Carrying around the house state case. Officers were talking about it in uniform. That's actually the case. Well, she's on the phone. Look, we thought those kids telling Florida they were lying a long time ago. Okay? Inside Mentors, November, was it 7th or 9th at 2 to 2:45? Lady comes in and said, I found out those kids made everything up. Nobody's to say a word. I told these boys not to say a word to her anymore. Okay? They yell it out at West Tusk around that time, too. Yell it out. They found all those kids lying in 2018. Is that what's going on? October 5th, 21, 1:53 p.m., Cleveland Avenue. Oh, I'm Melissa getting the money on this. That's okay. They know they made everything up. They didn't want anybody to help her. Got more. February 2nd of 22. Before noon, Burlington Coat Factory. Go to the shoes. Go back with my other client to the men's shirts. There's another kid that looks like Ludic. Younger version. What do? Have Spawn? Saint Spawns? Young girls with him said, I see her out today. It's not funny what's going on. Okay? He said, I wish I wouldn't have drugged her first and told her to say it before. I am not dealing with you. I got home. Not doing it. Going to save a lot. Women come running in. Oh my goodness, they drugged her and admitted to drug her and tell her to say it before. I go back to my clients on 6th Street. Guy in a brown house across the street comes running out saying the same thing, and the postman's like, we all heard it. June 23rd to July 4th. Inside Walmart. Best tape it on. Investigators followed me around for years. What are these people talking about? She never heard anyone. Okay? Well, girls buy the paint aisle. Oh my goodness. The boys had a drugger to make her say that stuff. Nobody mentions those tapes. I've never even been questioned. And just because somebody accuses you of something, they can't come in and set up cameras. That's ridiculous, because then you wouldn't have a legal defense. You wouldn't have a right to remain silent, legal representation, right to a fair court trial, bail and bond, and right to privacy. That's stupid. And I'm tired of them making up lies and hiring these people with low IQs, thinking they can just yell stuff across parking lots, drive by, come in places, and think they can say something to me about being victimized by these fuckheads. They sold the login to a real state and police investigation. It is illegal for the police to give out any kind of information, any name, address, or any details of the case. They sold a real state investigation the FBI started and turned it over to the police. They sold it for $25 a month. They talk about Walmart. They say the case is called Karen's Will from the agency. And then when they admit to chipping me, they blame the FBI on me again. Yeah, and they tell Dr. Alan Atinas at Altman Hospital March 13th that some damn bastard nerve from me already knew. Now I got some kind of chip in me, because I'll tell you what. A Canton officer walked by his phone, dinged, and read off his information. I don't get in trouble for dirty cops breaking in, stabbing you with needles, illegally surveillancing you, and photoshopping you. And that's why so many people see so many versions. Okay? And I'm tired of these retards thinking that the police will actually look at their stuff. You know what they're going to want? Who's involved? Because when I even talked to Officer Reinhardt in Louisville, I started yelling at these people. No matter what. And it comes down to no matter what. Until you actually spoke to Will at the Canton FBI, reported a threat on your life, and gave a statement, nobody could even watch you in your home. It's illegal, and it'd be legal to look or listen. I'm like, but they said they put clips together and put me over. I don't care. Yeah, I said, but they drugged me and told me to say something stupid. They said, I don't care. Not one thing till you talk to Will at the Canton FBI. It'd be illegal to look or listen. And they're so stupid with low IQs, they actually think they can get money out of this. And I'm in trouble. They're that actually stupid. That's what they call Melissa. For Melissa's so stupid, she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. Her first lie is, you bent over and probably were wearing a nightgown I didn't own 6 years ago, and said one time they see my tushy, and they didn't. And they already said that was her first lie. And Dave verified I just replaced all those nightgowns, but the big tent one that went down to my knees. And I always wore it with underwear, a house coat, and the big tent nightgown, or leggings and a sweater when the kids were over. He's like, I know that. And I replaced all the other ones by some laces for him. Okay? So, yeah. And her second lie is they came upstairs and you were weird with yourself, looking through a cracked bathroom door. That's like the stupidest lie. Stupidest lie. Stupidest lie. If you're looking through a cracked bathroom door and somebody's going potty, what if one of the boys had been there? What if Jen and she would have had her monthly? What if, you have to clean up your personal area? What if you had an infection, had to use infection cream? Who's being dirty when you look through a cracked bathroom door? You are. So I got witnesses. They didn't come upstairs. From Jen to Dave, and then the Massillon police were driving around for even Daniel. Admitted they never came upstairs. And I was outside with Jen, Dave, Noah, John, and Kate. And we went in because it got too warm to get dessert, and they left through the basement without saying goodbye. Third line, they'll make up something and call you a bad word. The mean game of pretend where it's sick. But they already got caught in the basement on Thanksgiving of 18 that the house wasn't meant for Grandma, it was meant for Auntie Shell and Papa, and they wanted me to get out. And then later on with Flora, we're making everything up. It's a game of pretend. Giggling in the basement. All the police know they lied. They called it fucking shit. My family should be ashamed of. Yeah. They told the doctor that he scoped my stomach about it, and he was calling it fucking shit. Our family's pulling nothing but fucking shit. And he was calling it. It's not funny. Victimizing a victim and trying to extort money out of somebody who laid their life down, trying to get them caught because there was threats on her whole family's life. That's not funny to do that to a victim that was willing to die to save her family. And people were breaking in, stabbing her with needles, trying to frame her. And here they were doing it before. That's why I had bruises. They're lying in Walmart. They're FBI agents. And they're not but dirty cops. And they were breaking and stabbing me with amnesia drugs, telling me to say something stupid, and here they were framing me before. That's not my fault, and that doesn't get me in trouble. That gets them arrested. Got like life in prison. Oh, God, I wish somebody would get me out of here.